Hi Leo, my ascendant brothers and sisters, welcome to your week ahead taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. Just want to say my tarot readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Leo, this is for you in some way, shape or form. I always advise that you watch all three of them so that you get a complete picture, and more importantly, so that you know which one that I'm reading actually resonates more for you. So with that said, if you are new to my channel, thank you so much for being here. If you are continued subby, you know I love you for it. Please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help us all on our paths to our highest vibrational good. So this week, for our key to the week, we have the Chariot card, which is really interesting to me, especially given the fact that this week we have a full moon. So in some way, shape or form, the spotlight is on the Leo energy, right? The spotlight is because the full moon this week is happening in the sign of Leo. So something about you, something about your energy is being lit up, whether this is your sun, moon or ascendant. Pay attention to this, because a full moon is like it's a culmination point and also a completion point. And one of the ways that I see this happening is when you think about a woman being pregnant, right? So when she's massive and then she finally has the baby, the pregnancy comes to an end, that's the completion, but the child's life begins, that's the culmination, right? So something is starting, but something is ending, but something is also beginning as well. And your Chariot card, this is about you reaching a personal victory or success of some kind. This week there's a step forward that comes in for you in regard or results to things that you've already set in motion. So this is where you're going to see some sort of reward for all of your hard work and effort. This is where you are very likely to see whatever. A friend of mine, wonderful lady, brilliant at human design, actually said that when Saturn leaves the sign that he's been in, he leaves a gift. And I get the feeling that this week the gift that's going to show up will be whatever it was that, you know, Saturn left behind. So this will be one of those moments. Pay attention. For your actions and options, oh yeah, we've got the Ten of Cups. Beautiful, right? So something to do with your home life or something that you have been working towards when it comes to that. This is not only good news, but it's also a heartfelt wish that is fulfilled. And very often whenever you see the Ten of Cups, this is not even just a completion, because obviously tens in the tarot represent completions, but this is attainment. This is where you're going to be able to hold something in your hands. I love this as well, and because it's your actions and options, you are very focused this week on the home. This is going to see you really focused on having the best experience that you can have in that space, in that kind of energy. And it's funny because that came up last week. Only last week I feel like it was conceptual, whereas this week it's going to be actual. You know, this is something that you are actioning into the world. But good news is on its way to you for sure. I love this, especially coupled with that Chariot card. So for the communications and conversations, we have the Page of Cups. So pay attention to what comes up over the course of this week. And the reason I'm saying that is because the Page of Cups coupled with the Chariot card literally represents the sign of Cancer. So whatever shows up for us this week, we're going to be revisiting again around late June going into July. So this is a moment where you really want to pay attention to what comes up, especially when it comes to the home life, when it comes to the family, the familial connections, especially when it comes to your career as well. If you have an idea or an inspiration over the course of this week, especially if it's like an intuitive nudge, this would be something that you want to pay attention to, because it will become relevant and important at a later date around the time of Cancer, which is going to be late June going into July. Interesting, very, very interesting. Excuse me. If you work for somebody else, this is great because it suggests that you have finally been seen. This is going to be a week where one of your ideas, you know, and you might have had several, you know, maybe over the last few years, maybe you've chucked so many things out and none of them have quite sort of had the effect or the hit that you wanted them to. Whereas this week, something that you put out or present to a boss or a person in a position of authority could really be kind of like, yeah, you know what, that's a great idea, and they take it on board and it just grows. When it comes to your, for those of you that are single, solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, or own your own business, again, it's a similar kind of idea, but the feeling that I get from this, it's going to be the thing that you don't expect. And I'll give you an example of that. When I put out the life path videos, I had no idea, none whatsoever. Like, I just thought, you know what, I'm going to do these, I'll do them to the best of my ability and see how it goes. And when they hit, you know, those crazy numbers and stuff, I was absolutely gobsmacked, because I just didn't, you know, I didn't expect it. This could be something like that this week. So whatever you're doing, whatever ideas you have that you want to start working on or pushing forward, put your heart and soul into it so that you can be proud of it when it blows. And then for those of you that are retired or no longer working for any reason, This is a week to work on your creativity and your intuitive faculties and capabilities. This is a week to let your imagination rip, roar, and fly. For your money and materials, we have the King of Swords, right? So when it comes to the work, the profession, the professional sphere in general, there is a lot taking place this week, and there is something, because you've got the King of Swords coupled with the Ten of Cups, there is something here that has the potential to really be a money spinner. And this is something that maybe you've been thinking about for some time, or something that you've been working on behind the scenes. But this is, and even though it's the cards aren't specifically there for it, this for me feels like an opportunity that will come from the external world. So this could be somebody that works in your field, it could be somebody that works in another field and calls you into it, you know, into their arena in some way, shape or form. But this is great. It really does suggest to me that there is help this week that comes maybe unexpectedly, as could an opportunity of some sort for you to get ahead. Now, one thing that I want you to be aware of, this happens to me a lot. Like, you know, I get an invite from, you know, somebody that's huge, like Kelly Rosano or Achuta Bava, and, you know, I get this kind of deer in the headlights moment where I'm like, oh my God, this is huge, this is huge. And then I kind of like have to center myself and say, no, you know enough, you know enough to do this. You wouldn't be getting the invite otherwise. Don't doubt yourself or your skills this week when it comes to, you know, making money or creating abundance for yourself. It's very possible. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, this week I would say probably watch out for the noggin. You might have a tendency to really get in your mind or overthink things. And remember, we do have that Mercury retrograde that is in full swing at this point. And then when it comes to your home and environment, there's some sort of, now this week, usually I would say a correspondence, but it's not. This week, expect to get a letter. And this letter could be something that I wouldn't say necessarily shocking or surprising, but it may change everything. This is going to be, and when I say a letter, I mean like a physical letter. It's going to change a lot of stuff for you. It will give you something really different to think about, or may even set a new course for you. Excuse me. And then finally, for your love and relations, you've got the Ace of Pentacles. So there is new love here. There's definitely new potential here for sure. I find it interesting as well, because for me personally, the way that I read, the King of Swords actually represents the sign of Aquarius. So this could be an Aquarian person. Now that obviously Mercury retrograde is taking place in the sign of Aquarius. And there's this kind of new, you know, fresh start, new beginning when it comes to relationships. This could be, you know, somebody that is somebody that's very creative. It might be somebody that's younger than you. It might be even somebody that you meet through the course of your work or your duties is possible. But I will say this, for a lot of you, you're meeting this person in your locality. Now, I'm not sure how sort of feasible that is, because I know obviously here in the UK, we're in lockdown. So not sure. Maybe it'll be the mailman. Who knows? Right. For those of you that are partnered or in relationships, This is quite literally about you deciding to want to start a family, but there's something here, you know, or to have children. This is you know, making that a concrete goal or plan from here on in. For those of you that are single though, there's definitely something, well, for all of us, you know, people that have Leo energy, there's something happening in the opposite sign, which is putting a spotlight on partnerships, relationships, and collaborations in some regard. And then finally, that full moon, your full moon message is the High Priestess. Yeah, of course, right? So double hit of this Cancerian sort of intuitive spiritual energy. Pay attention to your hunches this week, especially if it's something that you feel like could get you ahead financially or professionally. Obviously use your wits, you know, be smart, be sensible and all the rest of it, but pay attention to the intuition this week, because something is being revealed and this could be a really good way for you to get ahead. This is very exciting. I really like this as well, especially with that Ace of Pentacles, because this could reveal to you either a very lucrative partnership or one that you hadn't considered before. So, you know, there could be a new start or a fresh start in the area or arena of love, and definitely, you know, in the finances and profession. You know, this is going to be a really interesting week. With that said, let me know in the comments how it shapes up. I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Take care, and I'll see you soon.